all made up in my head. Destiny's melody calling out to me, so what I'm gonna do is fall for you and walk out to the edge.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Impulse7 here, and today I'm bringing another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about my theory on what In the Flesh means. Now, In the Flesh is the second story in the Fazbear Frights book number 5, Bunny Call. And yeah, yesterday I made a theory on Pigtail Girl for story 1, which is Bunny Call. Now we're gonna be doing a theory on In the Flesh. So I watched all the audiobooks from Ozone's channel, and now I've pretty much technically read the whole book, or the whole story. I haven't watched the first part of The Man in Room 1280 yet, but I will, probably when I'm done making this and uploading. But yeah, so if you haven't already read the book, spoiler alert, because I'm gonna be talking about like a short summary, and then I don't want you guys to get spoiled if you want to read the book. So yeah, click off the video right now if you haven't read the book yet, or if you don't want to get spoiled. So yeah, the main character is Matt. Matt is like a game developer, and I used to think like when I first started watching the audiobook video, I was like, maybe he's the game developer that made the games mentioned in FNaF VR. But no, I don't think he is. So yeah, Matt is working on the AI programming of Springtrap in a VR game that's going to be a part of the Five Nights at Freddy's game series. So this is talking about you know, the actual games in the game universe. You know? Understand? Yeah, okay, good. So Matt is the main character. He's working on the game. He's created this character called Springtrap. And I have a theory of who Matt is a parallel to, which I'll talk about later on. So, Matt divorced his wife, like recently. I don't know when he divorced his wife, but yeah. He divorced his wife, and now he's been going on a lot of dates, and he's been doing really bad. He's kind of like a selfish jerk who only cares about looks in girls and stuff. And yeah, so he created the animatronic known as Springtrap, and he's testing the game, right? And he keeps losing at the beginning. At the beginning, he keeps losing over and over again. And he was getting mad because, like, it's his AI. He can't even beat his AI. But, yeah, the Springtrap Revenge game is actually really similar to the game we play in FNaF VR, but it actually isn't. So Springtrap, he seems to be, the Springtrap in this story seems to be a combination of 3 different animatronics. Those being Glitchtrap, Dreadbear, and Grim Foxy. The reason he seems to be a parallel to Grim Foxy is because, well, the Springtrap's Revenge, the game, is a maze game, similar to the Corn Maze. So yeah. Dreadbear, because it's, Matt created him, and Dreadbear's like a Frankenstein's monster. And Glitchtrap, well, you'll see. So yeah. Okay, yeah, he kept failing over and over again. And yeah, it says Springtrap is Matt's creation. He made Springtrap. Before I was thinking maybe he just made this model for Springtrap, but no, I think he made the real Springtrap in this universe. So there's this girl named Jamie that he works with. And that seems to be she kind of, okay, this part is speculation, but she kind of seems to be a parallel of another character, which I'll get into later. So yeah. Overnight, Springtrap's AI is only to kill. He kills people, and that's it. But overnight, Springtrap has no one to kill, which is his only purpose, so he creates a new version of himself, and then the new version that he created killed the old version, which is weird. And then it's mentioned that this cycle happens over 500,000 times overnight. So now Matt couldn't even find Springtrap in the game, and he searched the code, and saw that the programming for Springtrap had completely changed. And right after this, though, or around this time, is when people were getting the game early to test it out. So people were playing the game, and the game didn't work for them. Like, Springtrap wasn't even there. Springtrap was lying on the floor in the actual game, which is weird. Oh yeah, I don't think I mentioned this, but Springtrap's Revenge is a VR game. I don't know if I mentioned that. I forgot if I did. But yeah. So Matt goes into the game to try to find Springtrap and reassemble the code, but he just found a lifeless body of Springtrap in the game. But then he started, like, feeling pain. And you'll understand why later on. So yeah, now he and his, friend Jason were going on a double date, but Jason was setting him up with the girl that he's double dating with. The girl's name was Ava, Matt was just talking about himself the whole time and was really rude. But then Matt didn't like Ava. Apparently she was, ugly, and Jason's date was who he liked. So yeah, Matt was being like a huge dick to Ava, and then when Jason and Ava left the table to go to the bathroom, Matt told Megan that it would be better if Matt and Megan were together, and that like pissed Megan off, and then when that happened, Matt got mad too, so he left and he didn't even pay his part of the bill. So yeah, the next morning Matt wakes up, he feels sick. And that was a bad thing because he needs to like fix the game. But either way, he goes to work to fix the game. He still feels sick though, and the head of his department named Gary walks in. He says the game is to be presented on Friday, and the game is actually going to be released in 2 weeks. So now we switch away from Matt, and we go to a guy named Gene who got the game early to test it. He's at his parents' house, and he has an early copy of the game, and he wants to be one of the first people to play, if not the first, and maybe beat the game, which is not a good thing because Springtrap's AI isn't working. So yeah, he had played the previous FNaF games and knew that going the wrong way would result in him dying. So yeah, he looked around, but he couldn't find Springtrap anywhere. His mom called him to have dinner and blah 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 blah, but he didn't want to stop playing until he found Springtrap. And when he did, he found Springtrap dead on the ground, like Matt found him. But Gene was like a superior hacker, so he hacked into the game's code, and found that Springtrap's code had been extracted from the game, and the program that had extracted Springtrap was a program called it's_a_boy.exe, which is weird. But that part's never mentioned again. Anyway, Matt is on a date with a girl named Madison now. But Matt, all of a sudden, he's getting like really, really hungry. He was like, they have like a bread basket at the table, but like Matt's eating the whole thing. And yeah, he wasn't even talking to her. Then he apologized, and he was like, "Would you like some?" And she's like, "No, thanks." Then the waiter shows up, and before he could even get out a word, Matt's like, I want to have this." But Matt was so hungry that it felt like a medical emergency. So, anyways, later on, when they got the food, he started eating it really quickly and weirdly. He acted so hungry, and even customers in Madison were all staring at him. And then Madison was uncomfortable, and she told Matt that her cat was really sick, and that she needed to go, but she left immediately, and she was lying, no doubt about that. But yeah. Matt was starting to think that Springtrap was somehow doing this. Anyways, when Matt goes home, he realized his stomach, like he's going into the shower, but he realized his stomach was a lot bigger, bloated and stuff. Anyways, the next morning, Matt threw up everything that he ate, but he still felt bloated. Like, I'm so confused at this point, but you'll understand later on. Well, kind of. It's hard to understand. I still don't even understand what exactly happened. It's so weird. But this story is probably my favorite. Whoops, oh crap. Oh, wait, never mind. Okay. Anyways, so, sorry, where was I? Okay, yeah. Now this story is really funny, but it's also weird and the best story in my opinion. Anyways, he goes back to work. The girl named Jamie, she says, "Oh, you look sick. Maybe you should go to a doctor." Later on, they're in a meeting, and Gary says that the early game reviewers had mixed feelings about the game, and that Springtrap's AI was apparently sloppy. And he was like, everybody should be doing our best work. We can't afford for that not to be the case. And then Matt got really mad. He was like, I always do my best work. Anyway, later on, he's driving home, but he's like really angry. He breaks the speed limit and passes through red lights, but he didn't even care if a cop pulled him over. He was still so bloated, though. Anyways, he smelled food and still got some, even though he was bloated. And he ate it really quickly. Okay, when he gets home, he sees Jason was packing. Megan told him what Matt had done at dinner, so Jason was moving out because Matt was being a dick. Anyways, Matt thought that Springtrap had to do with everything going to hell recently. And, yeah. Now Matt had another date. But for some reason his pants wouldn't fit him. None of his pants would fit him because he was getting really fat. Because he was eating so much, and, like, another reason you'll see later. Anyways, now he has another date. He uses, like, an online dating app, and he finds a girl named Emma. And, so, yeah. He was able to get on pants and, fasten it with a belt to keep it on. Anyways, the date instead was at a bar rather than a restaurant. And, when he gets to the date, the girl that he was dating, Emma, was chunky. Apparently, like 25 pounds more than she looked in the picture and stuff. And he was like a really big dick to her because of that. And like he said like really soon he says, "Oh, this isn't gonna work out." And she was like, "Why?" He said, "Because you look like you weigh 25 pounds more than you do in the picture." And she got angry at him, understandably. And then she told him that his picture looked like he weighed 35 pounds less. And that he was being a hypocrite. Anyways, Matt stood up to leave, and his buttons from his shirt all pop open. Emma laughed at him, and his pants were starting to fall off, so he clutched his shirt closed and held up his pants. And now, something else that was interesting was that it says that Matt feels like the pain in him was like a drum beat of agony. So, yeah. Anyways, Mike has another surge of pain, right? And then he sees knives. Like, he's at home, by the way. He sees knives. He's like, maybe I could cut the pain out. You can see where this is going, right? So he lays on his back, and he has the knife in his hand, and he cuts into his chest, and then what comes out of him is the weirdest part of this book. What happens? A baby-sized Springtrap was inside him the whole time. That's why he was so bloated all the time. But this version of Springtrap seemed like more organic and realistic than the one in the game. Anyways, then Springtrap lies down on Matt's lap and he just says, "Daddy." And then, anyways, the next morning, Jason goes to get his stuff, and then he finds Matt lying on the floor. So he calls the police, and they question him. Matt is dead. All right. The officer also questions him, and then he notices something, a clump of something green and fluffy. He asked Jason if he knew what it was, but he didn't know anything about it. And then the officer just shrugged and wipes his hands. And guess what, guys? That's it. That's how it ends. So yeah, I think Springtrap is meant to be like Glitchtrap, Grim Foxy, and Dreadbear all merged into one, as I said. Glitchtrap, at one point it's mentioned, like, the game seems to be in a similar setup as FNaF VR, where you like go into the level, because at one point it's mentioned that Springtrap appears to the right of him, like near a corridor and stuff, exactly where we see Glitchtrap in FNaF VR. So yeah, or at least seems like the setting we see Glitchtrap in FNaF VR. And yeah, so Glitchtrap was like possessing him, or like he was inside him trying to get out. And yeah, that's it. So I think Matt is a parallel to Jeremy. At the end of the story, it's mentioned when the officer's questioning Jason, he's like, did Matt have any suicidal thoughts or depression or anything? And that kind of stuck out to me. Okay? Everybody assumes that in FNaF VR, Jeremy kills himself. But what if that's not the case and what happened to Matt is similar to what happened to Jeremy? That's what I think. So what I'm trying to say is that the people think that Matt killed himself, just like people think that Jeremy killed himself. So that's what I'm trying to say here. And I think Jamie could actually be a parallel to Tape Girl, like, just because, like, the way that she treats him and stuff, and, like, her role in it seems like she's gonna be doing something similar to what he's doing next, or something. That part's just speculation, but I think it could be true. Anyways, so yeah, I think Matt is a parallel to Jeremy, and Springtrap is able to kill him, just like Glitchtrap probably now I'm pretty sure Springtrap or Glitchtrap kills Jeremy. So yeah, this is my theory, guys. I think this whole book is like a parallel to FNaF VR's storyline. So I think I think Matt is a parallel to Jeremy, and yeah, that's my theory, guys. That Matt is Jeremy, and that this is something similar is what happened to Jeremy. Like, we all assume, oh, Jeremy killed himself in FNaF VR. Maybe that's not the case. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video, and if you like the videos, please do consider subscribing. And remember, subscribe to Chickadee27%, right? Do Duncanley, and Glitch87. But yeah, let me know what you think of this theory that Matt is Jeremy. It's not much to the theory. It was mostly a summary, but I mean, it's important to know most of the steps to see what happened to him. So yeah, this also kind of reminds me of Room for One More, where there's like an animatronics inside him. But yeah. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Impulse 7 out. Peace.